So,
Oh,
I'll do a quick introduction and then I'll jump into some questions for you. I did just now start the live, so what up, everybody watching the live video? This new interview with amazing artist. I'm super stoked to have the opportunity to interview him. Big inspiration in my art career, and yeah, so it's DOES, and we are live now. So I just wanted to ask again, like, how you pronounce it. You still there?
hello?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, sorry, man.
Oh, you're good.
One.
So,
I'm live from the Netherlands.
mm-hmm.
So the connection might be a little slow sometimes, but let's work it out somehow.
Yeah, for sure. Can you hear me right now, good?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
cool, excellent. So yeah, just for everybody, how do you pronounce it? I pronounce it DOES. That's just how I read it, but you said like in different countries they pronounce it differently.
True, yeah. Actually, it doesn't really matter to how you pronounce my name. In Spain, for example, it's DOES. In Europe, it's actually in the Netherlands where I'm from. It's DOES.
Okay.
In England, they say DOES, and it was, they even called me Juicy. So there are many different options to, yeah.
Okay.
And as I said, it doesn't really matter. It's about the stuff you're creating.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People will recognize me somehow.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So
So how are you gonna call me? Which one are your?
I've called you DOES.
Yeah, sounds good.
So
DOES.
that's like when I talk to my friends, I'm like, oh, you need to check out, DOES's new art, or like when I was telling my good friend I was going to be interviewing you, I said DOES. So,
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Sounds. Yeah.
Awesome. So first things first, I'm stoked. I bought your book. You just put out a book, the first 20 years, and I'm excited for that to get here, and I can definitely rep your art a little bit more. So a quick introduction just for yourself, like where are you from? I guess what crews do you rep, if you rep any crews still? And then I'll have some more questions that follow that.
Yeah. So I started painting in 1997, so 20 years this year.
Okay.
I started in the Netherlands. That's where I'm from. I live in the south of the Netherlands. It's like 2 hours from Amsterdam, 5 minutes from the border with Germany, and 10 minutes with Belgium. So it's really, let's call it down south. That's where I grew up, and
Okay. Born and raised?
I did these in 97, and yes, it slowly developed to where I'm at this point.
Okay. Excellent. I mean, other than Love Letters, you started Love Letters, right? Like you and your homies, I think I saw somewhere.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's started in 2006, I guess.
Okay.
With 4 of my friends here in the south, and then I think after a few months we started to invite other guys that we were friends with. So and then it slowly grew to a crew of like 11 or 12 people.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's pretty much the main crew that I represent.
Okay. Nice. So, I think I read somewhere, and I might jump around from questions and
yeah, sure.
just
feel free to
as they come up. So let's see. I think I read somewhere, or actually I saw in one of your videos on your website, you described your style as like abstract. Is that kind of what you would call it nowadays, or how would you describe your style a little bit?
To be honest, for me, it's really hard to describe my style because I feel it's very personal and it's developing. Slow, but over the. If I look back, for example, it's just a slow development. And in my at this point it's getting a little bit more abstract. But the main thing is that the basis that I do, it's always like the 4 letters. So if it's abstract or it's graffiti or it's fine art, I don't know. There's always a certain base in my style. I don't want to give it a name too much, to be honest. I just want to create stuff that I really like and that I'm very passionate. So for me, the main focus is to develop, and I don't really, I don't care much about what people think what style it is. It's just it needs to attract people. That's the main thing in my opinion.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean it's I mean it's funny because like I feel like I've kind of left the graffiti title behind. Like I know what you mean. It's like we kind of start with like a letter base and then we kind of move on. So when you start a piece, do you kind of think of letters, or do you kind of think of an abstract style, like when you're going into it?
Yeah, this is a great question. It's because I'm trained myself so hard over the years. I don't really think about if I start like working with letters. It's just a certain style that I'm like totally focused on. And when I start drawing, it just starts with an S or a D or an O or an E, and these are letters. But I don't really
like think
of it, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a natural thing. It became very natural to start drawing and then start with a certain shape or I don't know. It's something very natural. That's very personal, which is a good thing at the point where I'm at this moment. It became a part of my routine, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Let's see. So you said it's been 20 years since you started doing art. Did you take classes when you started, or partway through, or what?
No. I really it's been a long journey though. I started in '97 while I was playing professional soccer.
Oh wow!
Football.
Okay.
So I started painting when I was 13 or 14, I think, and that was in a period that I was super focused on, but it was really strict and many rules, and at some point I was looking for something to do next to my football career, and me and my friends were always hanging on the streets, like doing these things that we all did, I guess, on the streets, like a little bit of vandalism and hanging out, stuff like that. And at some point, graffiti attracted me. And then, for some reason, I started using spray cans and markers. Just I didn't even know what I was doing.
For sure.
But it's it was just a certain feeling that was like these special moments.
Yeah, yeah, like the adrenaline,
Then, exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, then I discovered a hidden train line
Mm-hmm.
close to my where I lived,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the moment that I rough and felt like this is something that I also want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got more of an idea what I was doing. But like the first, I think 3 or 4 years was more about like vandalism and
Right.
Even know what I was doing. And then at some point, I had a big injury on my knee.
Oh, okay.
And in the same year, I got arrested by the police,
Mm-hmm.
and I stopped for 1 year because I had a big injury.
Right, recovery.
It took me to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that year, I sort of was a little bit mentally ill, something like that. Like, but I was looking for something that I was cheer up. Yeah, my girl's sitting next to me.
For sure.
She's helped me out with.
I'm his mental coach.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
But long story short, I really needed to have something creative next to my football career to have these positive things that I got energy from.
Excellent. So, how long after or through the vandalism part did you start focusing on the art aspect? Was it because of the injury?
After the injury, yeah. It was because when I got back to graffiti, I realized that I didn't want to do what I did before, like the vandalism stuff, and because also I was a professional football player, I couldn't.
You had a certain image to uphold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Sure.
So, and then at that point, I decided to focus on getting better and creating stuff that I
Sure. Send out to the world.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, back up just a little bit. Were there writers when you first started that you can remember that really inspired you? And then after that, were there artists that inspired you to move on to doing the more art side of it?
Yeah. Again, in 2003 or 4, I was painting with a local guy in my neighborhood. That was someone who stopped quite early after that year. Tumke, Nash, and Des. These were the local guys here in my area.
Okay.
And via magazines and stuff, really liked Dare from Switzerland.
Okay.
So he was the main influence for me in the beginning. Okay. And I think I met him first time in 2006. And he became a member of LoveLetters as well.
Nice.
And then I think in 2007 or 2008, I bought a canvas of him as well, which is still my living room.
Nice.
So I think he was important for me because he was the first one I saw. He was using acrylics and brushes on canvas.
Okay.
And that inspired me big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So let's see. What inspired you to start writing DOES or DOES?
the first time that I heard the name was during a football game against a team from Rotterdam. And I remember that this guy, he scored 2 or 3 goals against me, and he was a big, tall, strong guy. And I mean, that was someone who earned the name DOES. It was just a good example of the name DOES.
Okay. Okay.
Called him DOES.
All right.
His name was DOES, actually. So
okay.
that's the reason why. And then I came back home and I started playing around with these letters.
Okay. So.
And then, I mean, it also suits well with my personality. I'm a doer. So from the verb to do, so it really suits my style and the way I think of stuff.
Definitely. So trailing on that, when I just wrote this a handful of questions this morning, but when was it that you realized that art was going to be your direction to go?
Well, yeah, it's I always during my football career, I always had the idea of I mean, I knew what my passion was. I liked football very much, but like creating stuff, it's something totally different, and it suits me really well.
Okay.
I think at some point I realized after my career in 2010 or 11, I realized that there was sort of a career going on, and that was in Australia.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Nice. So, let's see. Where? Let's see. Was there? Do you remember like the specific moment where you made this like top priority? Was there like a piece you sold that really like you saw the light or something?
What do you mean?
Like, cause art's your full time. That's like what you do and whatnot. Was there? Do you remember the specific time in your life that you realized that this is going to be your primary thing and more than just like a hobby?
I do it for the food. Yeah.
I'm going to help him a little bit because sometimes he doesn't catch the words.
For sure.
I do remember actually one time that I think you're looking for that moment. We were in Thailand together. Okay. That was the first like world journey that he took with me, and there was this moment that we were on a boat, and he had already been injured in his career, and then he said to me, actually, I want to focus completely on art. Okay. And are you okay with that? And I was like, are you kidding me?
For sure.
And he was like that serious, so I was confronted with it a little bit because I still had the idea that he was going to do something with soccer. Right. Football. Right. Because he had been contract, so that was like coming in, and I had the idea that we needed to have a steady income. Sure. And so I was like, I'm not sure if this is a good idea. Sure. Well, he was so enthusiastic about it, so I said, okay, let's do. And then we'll see how it goes. But if it's not working out, you'll have to promise me that you'll fix something.
For sure, for sure. Okay.
That was the.
Okay, and you said that
and
was.
And then when we yeah.
Go ahead. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Took off.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
my girl, we are together for. She probably knows me better than myself.
for sure. So that was a following question that I had wrote down this morning. So you said that was in Thailand. Was that your first trip for art?
No, it was more a holiday.
Oh, okay. So I know you travel a lot for.
But that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah. I know you travel a lot for art. Do you remember like the first place you went, or and then after that, like what are some of your favorite places that you've gone to do art?
I've traveled a lot over the last 10 years. The first one I think was within Europe for my art. If I have to choose from several cities or countries, it's hard though. It's I really like Australia, but I also like South America, where the scene is very young and enthusiastic.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Let's see.
Yeah. Times in the US, but I would love to paint more over there. It's a bit of I don't know. It's I had a few options over there, but so far I would love to do some more over there.
Sure. All right. That just made me think of something. You do large walls sometimes. When did you start doing that, or also like what's one of the like largest walls that you've done? Because that's incredibly impressive.
I think the first large one I did in Italy, Bologna. It's 4 years ago already. But yeah, it's total different approach.
Sure.
If you do a small one or on canvas. But I love it. It's good to do stuff like this. Definitely.
So.
It's a big challenge, though.
Yeah, for sure. You pull it off incredibly well, man. Like I said, every time I see that, I'm blown away. So, let's see. You work with pretty much all mediums still. Do you do oil paints? I know you do acrylics. And then what would be like the top medium that you work with, or that you enjoy doing the most?
I think spray can acrylics. That's the main medium now. I recently started to use cement.
Yeah.
Which is great. I think there are many options. Because you can add layers, you can take stuff back.
Yeah, I've been seeing you do that. I've been seeing you do that. You're like adding cement and then chipping it off. Like when I saw that first little video clip, I was like, dude, this guy's on a whole nother level. What inspired you to do that?
I have some more stuff in mind.
Okay.
I'm starting to work on quite soon.
Nice.
But it's sort of a, I don't know how to say that. It's like it's a big challenge to and it feels like another step or something in my career.
Right.
Yeah.
Definition of abstract art, man. You're definitely doing some incredible stuff. I can't say that enough.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
funny because I still feel there's so much stuff that I really want to learn.
Absolutely.
I'm eager to get better, and I don't know. It's just I'm very passionate
Sure.
about what I'm doing.
So what are some things, or more or less, where would you, I mean, you're already far in your career and it's, obviously improving. Where do you envision your career going, say in 10 years or in 20 more years?
Wow. Yeah, we'll slowly develop
Mm-hmm.
to bigger walls, more 3D stuff, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
more. I don't know. It's I'm curious as well, though. It's
For sure, for sure.
what I'm known for sure is that I will continue, and
Mm-hmm.
that it will only get better.
Sure, sure.
And where I'm going, I don't know, but
For sure. For sure.
yeah.
Well, cool. I'll be looking out for your 40-year book.
Oh, yeah.
20 more
Wow.
years. I'll be looking for that too, and whatever else you put out in the meantime. Let's see. Given your status in the art world and in the graffiti world, have you done like collaborations with other people that are in your peer group? And then are there artists that you'd like to eventually work with?
Mm-hmm. I think a few years back I decided to focus more on my own stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which helped me to develop because I sort of needed to focus
Sure.
on colors and letter styles, and
Right. Right.
instead of doing concessions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I think 2 years ago I did probably the first with Case McLean in Germany. We did
Okay.
two big tunnels of the Deutsche Bahn, like the train, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like you don't count in meters, but
Mm-hmm.
Was 200 meters and then 40-meter high. We had 5.5 weeks
Oh, wow.
to finish it.
Wow.
But that was a great collaboration, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to do more collabs in the future
Mm-hmm.
because I work with other people that I have a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm at a point in my career that I need to have conversations with other artists and
Mm-hmm.
see how they work, and just
Mm-hmm.
only gets better then.
For sure. So the only artist that I hope will you'll collab with in the future is Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as like art goes, I think if you guys ever did any sort of collaboration, I mean, I'm a big fan of both you. You know what I'm saying? So I think just as a fan, I'm waiting for that. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Oh, you never know.
Cool.
I never met him actually.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Okay.
love to meet him. He's very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely, he's one of the best 3D guys, I
For
guess.
sure. For sure. Yeah, I think it would just be such an awesome style clash or collaboration, with your abstract style.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like how you layer colors, I mean, you're doing what a lot of 3D artists want to be doing, you know what I'm saying? But you have such a unique twist on it, so it's very awesome. It's very awesome.
Sounds. Yeah. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
your compliments.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, let's see. The question I have is the best advice someone has given you maybe throughout your career, or if there were any like mentors or books even that really gave you like a next big step with your vision.
Mm-hmm. In the beginning, 2004 or 5, I met Nash. He was a sort of a mentor for me. And then because of him, I met Chaz and Tumke. Tumke was inspiration for me on the graphic side, like the graphic influences.
Okay.
We spoke a lot about compositions and stuff like that. Nash was more the technique stuff, like handlings, breakhands, and material. And then I think at some point you just have your own sort of taste, and then you just train yourself really hard, and you meet people, and you connect with people, and I think now I'm trying to connect with people that are not really graffiti, but more thinking about creative stuff, which is super inspiring. They don't have a graffiti background, but they are more conceptual.
Absolutely.
Which is for me, it's like a new phase in my career, and super inspiring because I have my style, which is developed, and with these people all around me, they're like, we have some really cool stuff that we're working on at this point, and I just want to step away a little bit from like the pure graffiti kind of thing, and just try to make a step and leave everything behind me. Just move forward.
Yeah. Fresh perspective for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
And I still like to do my pieces. I love to paint a quick piece. But what I really try to do is just have the like the mix between doing a canvas or a quick piece or like freight train, or it's just the mix that makes the whole
process.
And makes it interesting. Exactly. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I think the first live video that I saw you do on Instagram, you had like some like bubble letters in the back. Well, you had like bubble letters on the page while you were doing your piece. And that, I mean, as a graffiti, again, I started at graffiti as well, and so that was just really cool to kind of see the two, just the two different levels, I guess, you have your like bubble letters, and then you have your more developed like abstract burner. So just visually, conceptually, I was really digging that. I think that's very cool. All right.
Yeah, what I always try to, as I said before, it's like using the basis letter styles, which is still in my current work.
Yes.
And that's what the contrast between. I remember what you were saying, like my first live session. I remember the styles that I did. So like the basic letters, and then I worked out this piece and the contrast that that's where I'm searching for sometimes as well. And I can't put my work like really rough lines, and then really clean lines on top of it, or like really basic letter styles with crazy connections, stuff like that.
Right.
It's something where I'm looking for even more than for example 6 years ago.
Awesome. Random question: what's your favorite color or color combination? That may be impossible.
Okay. In 2008, I was able to choose my own color via the Iron Leg guys.
That orange you developed?
Like a brown orange, because this is for me sort of an autumn color, and I really liked the rusty orange. So that's definitely one of my favorite colors. And I think if I have to choose like a color combination, it would be orange with more like purplish kind of tone, and I really like gray as well, gray and white, and like this off-whites and how do you call it, Sahara beige, stuff like that, very natural tones. I think that would be my favorite combo. Okay. Yeah.
So after listing those colors, it makes me think of, I don't remember what you titled it, but the big one that you just recently finished. And then you had like the deluxe pack. I don't remember if it was a book that you finished.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't think it was a 20-year book. It was. Do you know what piece I'm talking about? It's like the big orange one. I just remember the video.
Yeah, that was my first book. Do you mean?
It might have been your first book. Yeah.
Kifa Sikriat. Yeah.
Possibly. That was the big, it was like orange and black and gray. I think you used all your favorite colors.
Yeah.
Okay.
True. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, that was the result of my first book. And my first book was more like a compilation of like let's say 7, 8 years of work.
Right. I think I just barely missed out on getting that one. Every time I looked, it looked like it was sold out. So unfortunately, I was never able to come across that book. But when you dropped this 20 years, I jumped right on it. So.
Yeah, this book is totally different. This is more an insight of how I work, and it's very personal.
Right.
With the notes of my dad and notes that I wrote wrote down myself. Yeah. So this book is very personal.
Nice. Yeah, I'm stoked. So that the piece you just mentioned, do you think that would be like one of your favorite pieces that you've done, or is there like a specific maybe wall that you would call, your top or your favorite?
There's one wall in Sydney, I think, that I did in, I think it was 2011 or 12, where I painted a wall for my first solo exit, which was called I LoveLetters. And I think that was a piece that I still dig. Yeah, it's a combination of good colors and technique, and doesn't happen very often that I'm happy with stuff. Right. Really. Every now and then I look back and then I think that was a good one, and the wall in Sydney sort of still gives me a special feeling. Excellent. Maybe also because it was my first solo exhibition, which was very important for me. And, at that point, I realized, maybe I can make my career out of this. Okay. So nice. Nice. All right. So, with that being said, I have a question. What is one of your greatest experiences through your career? Do you think that'd be one of them, or is there other like highlighted instances that you've encountered? Oh, many. Yeah. That was definitely one highlight. But I think just in general, the fact that I'm able to make my living out of this, it's something really special. And because of the social media and the whole connection worldwide, it's something. It's a highlight. Sure. And how easy it is to connect with people and to show your work on a certain network, and that's just amazing. It still amazes me sometimes when you post something and see how many reactions there are and that people like your work. Right. that's good, and it's very stimulating,
right?
To continue.
For sure. Excellent.
So, and then the fact that I'm able to travel, that's a highlight as well.
Mm-hmm.
To travel to countries that I've never been to, and like South America, Asia, Australia, the US. I mean, yeah, that's great.
Excellent. So you mentioned an injury. Did that come from the soccer career, or did it come from like a graffiti incident? No,
it was a soccer incident. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, because I was playing in the highest division in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And I had to train like 1 or 2 times a day, every day, in and out. So there was a lot of pressure and stuff like that. And at some point, I injured my knee and my cruciate ligaments.
Okay, wow.
I don't know if you know what it is, and then I had a recovery, and it took me more than a year to come back, and I came back.
Wow.
But after that, it even get worse. I still played another 6 years, I guess, but didn't really get better. And at some point, I was forced to give up my career.
Okay. Dang. So I was going to ask, like, if there was, like, if you could remember, like, a low point of your graffiti career, because obviously, you know, everything is a roller coaster. If there was, like, you know, something in the art game that maybe, like, you tried out, but it didn't, like, pan out the way you intended it?
I mean, it's a constant thing. I recently made a short documentary about my working process.
Right.
And always when I start, like having a white canvas or a white wall, it's very difficult for me.
For sure.
But I also know that when I start working and I get the vibe at some point, I know it will be good. And I'm always struggling in the beginning.
Sure.
So, but because it's, I trained myself so hard over the years.
Right.
I know that at some point I get the vibe and know that it's gonna be okay. Or
definitely.
Yeah, I think that's the struggle in my career. But it's not. I'm not this guy that will wait that something will come on his path. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to move forward and try to start new stuff. If something, for example, in my career, sometimes you don't really have commissions of stuff. It happens.
Right.
But then you decide to start something new just for yourself. And if you do that, other stuff will come up, and then it starts again, and I think the main thing is just to stay active and
absolutely
try to show your work, and I mean just work hard and like what you do. But there are not really like periods in my career that I was down because of my art or something.
Sure.
No, not really.
So, kind of a random question. I'm almost to the end of my list, but a kind of a random question. For instance, like when I started really like selling more art, people were buying more characters. Like I still haven't quite developed my name yet. People will be more interested in like characters attached with my name. Did you ever have to go through that process? Like, you know, pretty much doing characters
I decided,
to help.
I decided. I think 5 years ago that I really wanted to focus on my own stuff. And if people come to me and ask me a question, if I can, for example, paint a lion or I don't know, like a crocodile, or, I usually ask someone else to do that because I really want to focus on my own stuff.
Absolutely.
And
okay.
If people ask me for a commission, I usually give them the option to choose the size of
Right.
the wall or a canvas.
Right.
And then they also can speak about the colors and stuff.
Right.
The stuff that I'm painting,
Mm-hmm.
need to be free to make the. I think that's the best way to develop. In my too much concessions, because that won't be the best way. And,
Right.
For my personal.
Right.
It's just the freedom that I need to create stuff.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Excellent.
And I will be on my best.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's just something that I've only just recently started selling stuff, but that was one thing that helped my art move, was just doing some character that people could relate to. So that's why I wanted to ask, just for a future. So let's see. Another question that I wrote down was before I got maybe like 4 or 5 quick questions. For artists, maybe new artists, maybe people in my place who are still like developing their art, are there any like tools that, for instance, I don't know if there's any like tools that really like helped step you up to get to where you want to be? For instance, you just mentioned cement a while ago, but was there any other sort of, maybe marker, I know, or any tools that really helped you get your art to where you envisioned it?
The main, I think the most important part of my career so far is drawing and sketching.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just if you can draw it, you can paint on a wall.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
if you, it's the best way to develop your style, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Sure.
main basis if you do something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if I look through my if I have to advise young artists,
Mm-hmm.
I would say and suggest just try to draw as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely in the beginning, just to
Excellent.
get a feeling for the connection and the lines, and
Mm-hmm.
understand the letters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the main thing.
Okay.
And then if you have that under control, you can try to start using other mediums
Mm-hmm.
like acrylics or
Sure.
cement. That's something. If you, I don't know, it's I don't know. It's not for the beginning.
Right.
I guess,
Right.
Because
For sure.
it took me 20 years to use cement.
For sure.
So I wouldn't suggest that.
For sure.
But also the main. What's really important is to have fun and
Yeah.
just try to do stuff you really like and that you really feel, and
Definitely.
that's
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent. So what are the details of your sketchbook? What, like the paper weight, and I guess that's my question next, because I know you have a sketchbook, and you're doing a contest. Let's see, the description, it was like the preferred paper you use. What is that again?
It's a certain paper that I'm using for most of my sketches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the actual name is, but I wrote it down. But it's sort of an art paper.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And next to my first 20 years book, I created like a empty sketchbook just to stimulate people to draw again. Because it helped me, as I said before, it helped me to develop my style, and I think it's super important to.
Excellent.
To
Excellent.
draw. You need good paper and good materials.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I created the empty book.
Excellent.
give away next week. Yeah.
Right. All right.
I just wanted to give some. So in this whole campaign, I had a lot of like positive energy and positive feedback. Yeah, I want to give something.
Yeah.
The artist already.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard though to choose three best sketches.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's great because there are many people who are standing stuff.
Right.
So it will be difficult.
Right.
But it's not a competition. It's just something positive.
Right.
As I
Gets
said,
people
I just
drawing.
want to give something back. It's
Yeah.
not about winning stuff or.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at your position, you're obviously inspiring people, but even more so when you're like, yo, push your levels and you have an opportunity of winning something. So I think that's very cool. It's really inspiring. It inspires me. I know I'm gonna be blowing up I'm gonna be blowing up too, because I want to enter that competition. So, all right.
Nice.
So outside of art, what are other things that inspire you, or other things that you do on your downtime when you don't feel like doing art?
Yeah, I'm to be honest, most of the time I'm just working. I always start my day around like 7 or 8 o'clock. I have 2 kids, 2 boys, 2 little boys.
Okay.
The oldest is 3.5 now, and the youngest is 1.5.
Nice.
So they get up really early, around 7 or something. They inspire me a lot.
Excellent.
And being more effective in the work that I'm doing, and because I have less time, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit how my day looks like. A normal day.
Yeah.
Maybe that's. So I wake up around 7, and then I'll take care of the boys together with my girl, and then I make breakfast for them. And then around, I think 8:30, we go to we have a nanny and grandparents around us where we'll bring the kids.
Excellent.
Like 4 or 5 days a week. So after I brought the kids, I start working. Usually starts at 9 in the morning and then go on till 5 minutes before 6, because at 6 I have to pick them up again. And then we have this ritual thing here, like reading a book and brush teeth and stuff, and then they go to bed around 8, and then actually the second part of my working day starts around 8:30.
Okay.
And then I work till 12 or 1 in the night, and then it continues. So
Excellent.
the cool thing that really inspires me to see these little kids around me. Definitely the old one. He's to draw now. Yeah. I really like to see the freedom how these little kids are drawing. It's great to see.
No doubt.
Because for me, I'm so focused in the stuff that I'm doing.
Yeah. Excellent.
But kids are so loose.
Yeah.
And so natural.
Absolutely.
It's very inspiring.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then other stuff that inspires me is I think nature. We live close to a forest, so I often go to the forest with the kids. Just the colors and the shapes of, for example, trees or like stones that are broken. I don't know. There's so many stuff to discover if you just walk around, and even it's like a tiny detail somewhere, like color contrasts. Advertisements which can be interesting. There's so much stuff that inspires me. Sure. And it also inspires me to travel a lot, though. To see different countries, different cities, colors of different people. Right. Different. I don't know. It's just it's
very cool. I like hearing you explain that, because it just makes me think of your art and how, I mean, sometimes you'll have kind of colors just leaking out of the structure, or colors leaking out of the structure of a letter, and just hearing you explain, just seeing nature and how the kids do art, it relates.
Yeah.
It relates. So it's cool. It's cool to hear that, and then how your art reflects that. I think that's awesome. All right.
Yeah, I also think if you look to my color schemes, they're I think mostly based on like natural landscapes, but in my kind of view. So I use often, like, for example, green and blue, which is like the earth and the sky, or if we talk about like my favorite combo, like the purple and the orange can be like a skyline as well.
No doubt.
We have purple in the bottom, orange, and then goes into blue, stuff like that, which is very inspiring. Let me think. Recently, I did like green and orange, which is, I don't know. It's can be the forest and the sun that goes down, stuff like that.
No, it's definitely an autumn scheme for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, autumn scheme. I love that. Yeah.
Dope.
Like the yellow and the orange and browns. Yeah, that's how I look to colors. Just stuff that around you, and I often take pictures of stuff, and at some point you just also like you keep it in your mind, and then it comes very natural. Because sometimes I start something, the canvas, and I don't know which colors I'm gonna use, and I just pick one color, like, and then I mean you're gonna use. For me, it's very natural to have next to blue like turquoise, and because that's it's fluid. For me, it's like a next step to blue, and then turquoise goes to green, and I don't know. It's just a way of developing colors, I guess. I don't know.
I'm glad you mentioned turquoise. I'm glad you mentioned turquoise.
Sorry?
I said, I'm glad you mentioned turquoise. That's my favorite color. So awesome.
It's amazing.
It's a good color. Excellent. All right. So almost to the end. Let's see. What would be some tips you would give to like the younger generation? Like, I guess something that maybe you tell your son should try, if anything. Or just early artists trying to develop.
As I said before, definitely try to draw as much as you can, and just train yourself. You doesn't need to like develop very fast. If you just like take it step by step, and also. If I look back to my career, at some points in my career, I have made, like in a week, maybe 10 or 20 drawings. And the difference between drawings, which is minimal. Yeah. If you put them next to each other, it's just, you won't see a big difference. Right. But that's just the way I developed. Right. So step by step and slowly, but just... try to build up your personal style and taste. Take your time and draw a lot, and to be eager to learn from other people, and be open-minded, and I think that's if I have to give an advice, that will be the main thing. Excellent. And definitely for younger writers who start using spray paint, wear your mask, because that's something that you probably will forget in the beginning, but it's super important to take care of your health. Excellent. That's pretty much it, I guess.
Cool. That reminds me of just a saying that I think of all the time, and it's slow is steady, steady is fast, or something like that. And it just makes me think of the progression style, you know. But yeah, I think that's a really good realization and acknowledgement for sure. Slow, you know, steady steps, you know. So awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then I think that's most of the questions I have. Let me just read through my notes real quick. See if there's anything else I brought. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it.
If you have or any guys who are listening have questions, just send me a text via Instagram, and I will answer it personal.
For sure.
That's what I'm doing all the time, trying to. So if there are any questions, just hit me up, and I would love to give some feedback or help you guys out.
Awesome. So one more thing that I have is, are there any, I know you just put out your book, but are there any projects that you're currently working on or next things that you have scheduled?
For 2018, this year I have to, I'm gonna paint something in Paris in 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
Right now I'm trying to finishing a commission and trying to prepare a little bit for new stuff that's coming up. So next year I have several projects planned in Europe and in, I think, 2 in the US. And how it usually works is just from, I mean, there are a few like main things during the year, but there's often stuff that's just coming in like, for example, today I can receive an email, for example, for something in about 2 weeks, or and that's constantly stuff that's happening.
Sure.
So yeah, it's
Okay.
I don't know. It's I have to be honest though. My girl, she's helped me out with the schedules, and
for sure.
So she knows more.
For sure.
Projects there are in the loop. But
for sure. Well, since your book's done, you can kind of take a break from at least that adventure, because I know, or I can imagine that was, time consuming for the most part. Obviously, it's positive, but
that was a big project again, which is I'm happy that everything's behind now.
Right.
Which is,
right.
I mean that's finished now, and I'm happy with the way. Like the videos came out and the whole project and the whole concept. But it was a lot of work though. I think we worked with 4 or 5 people for maybe 4 or 5 months on the whole thing.
Okay.
And then I'm consuming.
Cool.
But I'm happy with how everything came out.
Right. Awesome. All right, and then that's pretty much it. The last thing I have is there anything else you'd like to mention, raise awareness on, or just questions for the listeners or anything like that?
As I said, if someone has questions or just hit me up. Via Instagram or Facebook, whatever. I mean, if I can help someone, I'm happy to do that. So,
cool. So
it's only it's so easy nowadays with social media.
Right.
And just hit me up.
For sure. And I'll put it like when I put this to YouTube, I'll go ahead and add all those links. It is at @DigitalDOES on Instagram, or at Digital Dose Shop on Instagram. Do you have like a YouTube you'd like me to put on there, or do you have a Facebook or any other social media that you'd like me to add you on, or put on the?
It's pretty much all Digital Does. Also on YouTube, I think. but I didn't use YouTube that much. I use Vimeo for videos. But the main social media channels are Instagram and Facebook. Okay. I mean, I also use Twitter, but they're pretty much all on my website. So if you go to digitaldoes.com, there's pretty much everything is on there, like social media and the web shop and stuff like that. So
excellent, cool. I'll definitely add all those on the description. Thank you so much, man. It's been an honor talking to you, man. Like I said, you're a big inspiration. And it's awesome to have a conversation with you, man. So
it was a pleasure to be your show, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, man.
I would love to meet up in the future. It would be great to.
I'll. Yeah, well, I mean, when you head to the States, I mean, obviously I follow you, so yeah, man, it'd be an honor to meet you in person. Yeah, dude, excellent. Thanks again, man. I mean, I can't thank you enough, man. And like I said, I'll definitely be tagging you in all the new pieces that I got going, because I want to win that competition. Right on, man. Awesome. Thank you for everything.
Sounds
for sure. Thank you for everything, and keep on pushing the game, man. You're definitely doing amazing stuff. So, all right.
Cool, guys.
Have a good night, man.
Likewise.
Thank you. Peace.
Bye.